Through Radio Adelaide, I have been a part of the Global Generation team. Most recently, I was a part of the Breakfast and Drive Time News team, where we presented daily news and sports stories. Radio Adelaide national and local news. Good morning, I'm Rebecca St. Clair. There are growing calls for Federal Water Minister Barnaby Joyce to be stripped of his portfolio after recordings at a pub.
We've taken water, put it back into agriculture, so we can look after you and make sure we don't have the greenies running the show, basically sending you out the back door.
A man arrested by counter-terrorism police in Sydney over the alleged plot to attack a plane has been released from custody without charge. The four men who were arrested, Khalid Kayat, Mahmood Kayat, Abdul El Karim Mahi, and Khalid Mahi, are reported to have deep connections to Islamic State. A further 3 men remain in custody without charge at the Sydney Police Centre in Surrey Hills. Political moderates with the opportunity to vote against the party regarding same-sex marriage have been warned about the potential damage to the government if their actions take place. The controversial decision may come to light next week. Liberal same-sex marriage supporters are being threatened with pre-selection challenges if they decide to cross the floor and side with Labor. Defence technology company Saab have managed to acquire Defence SA's chief Andy Keogh. Keogh has left the $410,000 per year job after only 2 years.
And now sport with Rebecca St. Clair.
The Adelaide Crows are set to re-sign Riley Knight by September, but are still waiting on fellow young guns Mitch McGovern and Jake Lever. Knight is off contract at the end of this season, but the Crows have already started negotiations with the 24-game midfielder. Meanwhile, McGovern illustrated why West Coast will want to reunite the star forward with his brother after he booted Adelaide to a draw against Collingwood at the MCG on Sunday, scoring a last-minute goal. Jake Lever's manager returns from holidays next week, which will provide the clearest indication about the defender's intentions. Cricket Australia and the Australian Cricketers Association have both denied reports that a pay dispute agreement has been reached. A deal regarding the situation was reported Monday evening, although a spokesman for CA has stated that negotiations are still ongoing and no agreement had been reached. The international cricketers are set to play a 2-test series in Bangladesh this month, although it may not go ahead.
The University of Adelaide's Vice-Chancellor has introduced new security measures in order to stop students from placing padlocks onto the bridge to signify their love.
Having recently completed a Bachelor of Media with a major in journalism at the University of Adelaide, I have taken the chance to volunteer with The Wire, a national current affairs program that is broadcast on the Community Radio Network. For The Wire, I have completed a variety of stories that have included vox pops and interviews. How many people would be affected by rising humidity if measures to curb global warming are not in place versus if they are put in place?
Business as usual emissions, then we could see 30%.
The rise of milk alternatives such as soy, almond and coconut, all branded as milk, has unsettled some members of the dairy industry. Organisations like Dairy Connect are calling for a change in labelling to follow the lead of the European Union and Canada, where the stuff that doesn't come from cows is branded as a milk substitute. Sean Morgan is CEO of Dairy Connect and says milk is defined by law to be simply dairy product. Why do you think that there has been an increase over the last few years of people with food allergies?
Great question. Rates of allergic conditions have skyrocketed.
Everyone kind of believes that certain factors had a negative impact. Would those factors still have played a role as well?
One of the problems with understanding the extinction of thylacines is that the 3 main factors.
The Senate committee heard from a range of organisations across the building industry to come to its conclusion. But the coalition and a number of engineering and fire specialists say banning the product is not going to solve the problem. They say that education and industry reform are also essential. Chris Stoltz is the Victorian President of Engineering Australia. He explained the construction of the cladding material and why it's so dangerous.
It's a little bit like a vanilla slice in the sense that...
I have also previously shot and edited a short film. Here are just a few of the highlights.
Okay, time to pack. That's good enough. Time for my adventure. There it is, dog. We found it.
Love is walking